Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Remind and FoV here on Twisted Meadows. Yes, this is a WarCraft 3 shoutcast, so this is going to be a Night Elf versus Undead matchup. Now, what does a StarCraft 2 caster or a Blizz Shouter do when there is a patch that you cannot download and install? Well, you start shoutcasting WarCraft 3 games, of course. Back over here we have Remind setting up an setting up an Ancient of War over here by these gnolls. So it's going to use that Ancient of War to go ahead and try to take down this level 5, level 3 creep camp, giving the hero almost level 2. And looks as though it's going to be an Altar of Elders, so most likely going to be a Demon Hunter versus a Death Knight matchup. Now, Remind should be placing down a couple additional Moonwells as well, so we'll see what exactly the strategy is going to be for Remind. Remind now getting that Demon Hunter, so it is going to be a DH, most likely versus a DK. I do not see a Graveyard though, so well, talking a little too fast. FoV not getting a Graveyard, so it does not look as though he will be trying to go for Crypt Fiends this early, so perhaps a Ghoul and Death Knight strategy or Death Knight opening. Back over here we have an Archer now being trained up by Remind. So an Archer now getting trained up, going to go ahead and shoot an arrow and then have that Ancient of War try to tank as much damage. However, FoV now getting an Acolyte in there and now going to get purged, and we'll see how that's going to really happen here. We have the Acolyte now trying to take down this single Wisp, and that Ancient of War may be able to get in a couple of hits. We'll see how exactly this is going to work as that Acolyte taking a couple points of damage, and now that Acolyte trying to take down this Wisp. Wisp down to 41 hit points, down to 27 hit points. May get taken down by this Acolyte, and it looks as though he will. So FoV taking out that Wisp, the Remind's Ancient of War going to be much more difficult to try to repair as there is no Wisp sitting in there. We also have an Acolyte coming in dealing a couple points of damage as well, so Remind may fall behind. Now getting another Wisp over here in order to try to get this Ancient of War healed back up. So one Ancient of War healing this back up. We have now those Gnoll Wardens trying to focus down this Ancient of War. Ancient of War having 2 Wisp and still eating trees will be able to creep this without any real issue. Demon Hunter down to about 585 hit points as this engagement continues. Death Knight finally out, sells the Scroll of Town Portal, picks up a Dust of Appearance and a Rod of Necromancy. So he's going for a heavy Ghoul rush. We'll see how Remind will really be able to counter this. He does not have the Moonwell placement in his base in order to really fend off those units. So I'm quite interested in seeing what the strategy is in fact going to be. Demon Hunter, however, is level 2. Level 2 after getting one of those kills or getting the kill off on that Acolyte. However, the Death Knight will not be doing any Death Coils yet as it is level 1 and has Unholy Aura. That means that he trained Unholy Aura first as his ability in order to get perhaps some more Ghoul surrounds on these units. Demon Hunter now trying to pull back away. Archers perhaps going to try to get in a couple of hits as well. And now we may get a surround on this Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter now down, no, not going to get a surround on Demon Hunter after going after those Archers. One Ghoul now low on hit points getting pulled away as more Wisps or as more skeletons once again being joined in, Wisp being forced to be microed all around the map. So a lot of microing coming in from both of these players. Wow, we have a Death Knight sitting back over here trying to take down the single Wisp. Is the Wisp going to detonate? Does not look like it, and the Death Knight does get that kill, so getting a little bit of experience back. Back over here we have a couple of Wisps hiding, so we have Remind trying to like just hide Wisp all around the map. We have a couple Archers sitting over here hidden using that Cloak of Shadows, not the Cloak of Shadows, the Shadow Meld ability in order to try to hide away from those ghouls. However, the Death Knight coming across, now with that Dust of Appearance, gonna go ahead and try to reveal that Archer. Archer down to 81 hit points, down to 50. Mana burn on that Death Knight, so that Death Knight continuing to take damage from the mana burn of that Demon Hunter, as he has no real way to get rid of any of it. Now we have a nice immolation being used by the Demon Hunter, so the Demon Hunter using that immolation to try to break a surround, and those ghouls not wanting to get a surround. And how is this really going to work? Demon Hunter once again doing another immolation, and units just taking damage consistently. Death Knight now doing a quick detonation as well. So the Demon Hunter, however, also hit by that detonation as well, loses some of that mana, and that's going to hurt him as well. FoV now coming back away with 156 hit points. Not exactly sure what exactly his strategy is going to be, but I believe that Death Knight did in fact lose some of his mana. Sorry, no, not the Death Knight, the Demon Hunter did lose some of that mana from his own Wisp, so perhaps Remind just got it just enough in order to prevent any mana coming in from that Death Knight, but no real reason to detonate that. Back over here we have the Demon Hunter perhaps going to buy a Boots of Speed. Yeah, now getting a Boots of Speed, also getting a couple of Archers. we have Remind sitting on a 22/50 food count. Meanwhile, FoV sitting on 26. So FoV does in fact have the larger army. We have a single ghoul now going down to 23 hit points. Down it goes, and now we have level 2 on that Death Knight. So level 2 on that Death Knight, and ghoul is now trying to get healed back up. Poor Death Knight of FoV down to 50 mana, will not be able to get any additional heals off, and that ghoul down to 85 hit points. Will that ghoul be able to... Yeah, ghoul being microed very well. Demon Hunter trying to catch up to it, but that ghoul able to pull away and continue to run. So that ghoul now down to 59 hit points. That Death Knight acting as a little bit of a wall, trying to prevent... Ooh, those pigs getting in the way of that the Demon Hunter, so that Demon Hunter not able to get in 2 consecutive hits. Demon Hunter trying to chase down this ghoul. Ghoul down to 30 hit points. Demon Hunter should be able to get 1 additional hit on it. However, the great micro of FoV being able to pull away with that single ghoul. Ghoul gonna go ahead and start harvesting lumber in the back of that base, and the Demon Hunter should not be able to get it unless he tries to overcommit. There was in fact a cold tower already up. The Halls of the Dead pulling away with that Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter trying to pull back away, and now Archer's in a little bit of a precarious situation as those ghouls trying to get a surround. Down goes that Archer, and there we go, and now a little bit of a long distance mana burn, so that Death Knight pretty much has no additional mana. Demon Hunter down to 72 mana however, and now we have Remind getting a Huntress Hall, or a Hunter's Hall, so that Hunter's Hall gonna start producing Huntresses, and now getting Ancient of Lore, so he may be trying to go for... Actually, I'm not sure what he's going for anymore. That Hunter's Hall may just be there in order to try to get... in order to try to get those weapon and armor upgrades. And Pandarian Brewmaster now in this fight, now getting a quick boulder from that Rock Golem. Breath of Fire hitting across a majority of these units. Rock Golem down to 148 hit points. Demon Hunter being forced to pull back away, and now that Pandarian Brewmaster trying to get as much mana as possible, also gets a potion of mana. However, the Death Knight and Ghoul is already coming in, and we'll see where exactly he's going to be running in, and we have some Gargoyles. So FoV going for classic Gargoyles, as though this was the Reign of Chaos version of WarCraft 3. Those Gargoyles are going to be very difficult for Remind to take down, as Dryads or a bad counter. Only Hippogriffs will be able to really counteract those Gargoyles, but even then, those Gargoyles have a melee attack as well, and are a decent counter towards Hippogriffs. Mana burn once again on that Death Knight. Death Knight down to 22 mana. Wisp continuing to... Oh, and they Staff of Preservation to save a low hit point Wisp. So continuing to try to save those with Death Knight now sitting at level 2.5, almost level 3, halfway there. Made to take down another Wisp as those Gargoyles are just up in the air, continuing to harass. Pandarian Brewmaster, however, now sitting at level 2, gonna go ahead and try to rejoin in on this fight. The Breath of Fire, if it does get high enough, will be able to counteract those Gargoyles very nicely. So level 2, level 3 Breath of Fire, most likely Remind's attempt to try to counteract those Gargoyles. 2 more Wisps quickly going to get taken down. Down it goes. And where exactly does that leave FoV at FoV's Death Knight? FoV's Death Knight now sitting at 2 2/3 in terms of leveling, and with those with those Gargoyles still in the air and just doing a little bit of harassment over the trees, Remind is going to have a very difficult time gathering any wood, down to 124 wood, and continuing to lose Wisps, being forced to train more Wisps as well. Back over here, we have the Death Knight coming in with those ghouls and another additional Gargoyle. Perhaps they're going to try to do a little bit more harassment. However, we have Archers and a Pandarian Brewmaster coming in. A nice long-distance Death Coil killing another Wisp. So this is going to be a very difficult fight. The Troll Berserker, probably the best counter against those Gargoyles, as the Troll Berserker has normal armor and takes reduced damage from piercing. Ghouls once again on the move, trying to use those skeletal minions as well. Back over here, we are now going to tier 3 Black Citadel, and no second hero yet. So there is not a second hero joining this fight. No Lich, and no Tavern Hero, no Dark Ranger. Still, back over here, a quick ensnare on a single Ghoul, so that Ghoul may get focused down. We'll see how that's going to really work. We also have Drunken Haze across a lot of those creeps, so one poor Ghoul going to get taken down. However, Death Knight now coming in with those Gargoyles, trying to focus down those Dryads. Dryads taking a fair amount of damage, and now getting Staff of Preservation to try to pull back out. Another Archer down to 13 hit points. A Ghoul trying to chase him, going to get out of that range of that Unholy Aura, and the Archer will be able to pull back. And now another Archer low on hit points as well. So FoV doing a really good job cleaning up the rest of these units. I heard an Archer fall. So those 2 Ghouls were able to take down one Archer. Death Knight able to take down another. And this Dryad gonna die to the creeps instead. So Remind in a definitely behind. We have a single Ancient Protector as well. And that Ancient Protector gonna be used in order to perhaps prevent any of those Gargoyles from dealing any real damage. Trying to keep those Wisps close by from that close to that Ancient Protector. we have that slow poison on those gargoyles as well, so those gargoyles are not going to have nearly the amount of mobility as we saw earlier. However, in comes a couple of those skeletal minions, now trying to do a little bit of micro, trying to split up these units with the lower hit point Dryad being pulled away, skeletal minion being poisoned, and downing, oh, actually down to 1 hit point, needs to get focused down, there it goes. And as this fight just continues right now, we have what the Death Knight, or sorry, the Demon Hunter sitting at level 3, the Pandarian Brewmaster sitting at level 2, and the Death Knight sitting at level 3. Stay tuned for part 2 of this replay between Remind and FoV here on Twisted Meadows.